Hello, my name is Michael Fitch, and I'll be doing the cognitive dissonance theory. Cognitive dissonance theory is when a certain person or individual is constantly thinking about two conflicting beliefs that they have. More than likely, this person is torn between the two opinions and doesn't know which one is correct nor wrong. This is considered dissonance. This then results in a person changing in order to minimize that dissonance that you have. Breaking down the theory. At some point in our lives, people will begin to experience inconsistent ideas that we believe in, or we will question our opinion and belief of others that might be correct instead of our own. A good example is that as kids, we were always taught that smoking is bad, and at some point, we said we would never do it. Yet, when we are older, some of us smoke because we like it or enjoy it, even though science has shown that it is clearly bad for us. With this inconsistency occurring, one will be encouraged to solve this dissonance that is happening, because you realize that as a kid you violated your beliefs. You will then begin to solve this dissonance that you will have in your life. Now, theory is that one will solve these issues by either changing their beliefs, changing their actions, or changing their perception of that action that they are taking, all of which in the end will more than likely greatly reduce your chances of dissonance. This right here I have is the author or the original theorist. His name is Leon Festinger. It was developed nearly half a century ago in 1957. Festinger attended the City of College, New York in 1939, where he received his bachelor's degree in science. Shortly after, in 1942, he also received his master's in psychology at the University of Iowa. That same year, he also received his PhD. Later on, Festinger became an associate professor at the University of Michigan, and around the mid-1950s, Festinger taught many of young psychologists at the Stanford University. Right here is the graph representation of the cognitive dissonance theory. And at the bottom left corner, you will see belief. That is the smoking part that is bad for you that I explained on the previous slide. And on the top left, you will see action, which is the part that you decide to smoke because you like it or enjoy it, even though you know what it does for you. Now in the middle, we have inconsistency. You will see the two parts colliding with one another, and this will therefore increase your chances of dissonance because of the two colliding with one another. Now, to decrease your chances, you can either change your beliefs, change your actions, or change your action perception. The more dedicated you are, one of those three things, the higher your chances are of reducing dissonance in your life. Hence, that's why the arrow is pointing down. Right here, I have a picture of the cognitive dissonance theory that is explained in our book. But in my own personal opinion, the best example that I know about dissonance theory is what most people will learn from, and that's racism. And I learned this in my own life. When I was a kid, my parents had a divorce. My mom, who was white, later married my stepdad, who is now African American. Who are unfortunately divorced. My stepdad was one of the most positive influences I had on my life because my dad was no longer around. My dad always told me when I was a kid that blacks and whites were not supposed to marry or be together or be associated with one another. As a kid, he was trying to teach me that. Though when I met people who were black, I realized at the same age what was so wrong about them. They were just like me in every way, and the people who I met were very nice and kind to me. Why didn't he like them? I was then At that point, I realized I experienced cognitive dissonance for the first time. I had those conflicting ideas in my life, and either I had to listen to my dad, in which he told me that I could not associate with black people, or I can change my beliefs. Even when I was a kid, I realized that my dad was wrong, and that there was nothing wrong with black people. So I decided to change my beliefs. I changed my beliefs because my behavior was that they're all the same as us. And I had many black friends, so what was the big idea anyways? What was the big deal? In result of that, I felt that I reduced my cognitive dissonance theory and a great chance that I changed my beliefs because of it. Thank you.